Hello everyone, myself Nishitha, Assistant Professor, Department of CSIT, working at MLR Institute of Technology. In previous sessions, we have seen about file allocation methods, file table, file structures and directory structures. So in this session, we are going to describe about file access methods. So let us see the overview of this presentation. So in this, we are going to see about file access methods. File access methods are of three types. What are they means? Say sequential, indexed and random. So let us start our file access methods. So in this file access methods, when a file is used, information is read and accessed into computer memory. So when the file is used, whatever the information gathered or necessary or whatever we are reading or which we have accessed some files that are kept in the computer memory. And there are several ways to access this information of the file. So it consists of several information which is kept in the file. Some systems provide only one access method for files. So, in some systems, whatever the requirements can be done for the file, only for that are accessed only for some systems. So, whereas other systems cannot access throughout the files, only some systems can be accessed. So, in other systems, such as those of IBM, support many access methods. So, in this IBM, it accesses some accessing methods and choosing the right one for a particular application is a major design problem. So, in IBM, there are n number of methods to access the files. In that case, we are choosing some appropriate or particular application to design that problem. So, let us see what are the three file access methods that we are going to describe in this file access methods. So, there are three ways to access a file into a computer system. So, there are three ways. What are they? Sequential access, direct access and index sequential method. So, sequential is nothing but whenever we want to search a file. So, suppose I want to search a file, some X file. So, which is present in some folder. So, in folder A, it consists of n number of files A, B, C, D, so on, X file. So, now I want to find out the X file. How we are going to access this using sequential, direct and indexed sequential method. So, let us start our sequential access to check this file. So, let us see the sequential access method. It is the simplest access method. So, it is very simple and easily access the file. And information in the file is processed in an order. So, whatever the information is processed, that is kept in an serial order. So, one record after the other. So, serial is nothing but keeping the record one after the other. This mode of access is by far for the most common. So, the access is far for the most common. Example, editor and compiler usually access the file in the fashion. So, example, if you want to edit the file and you want to compile some files or execute that file. So, in that case, it is usually accessible in their own fashion. So, read, write, make up the bulk of the operation on a file. So, read and write operations can also be done in the bulk. So, a read operation, read the next position. So, whatever the read operation is performing, that is reading next and the position is next of the file and automatically advance the file pointer. So, file pointer is nothing but addressing the next file. Here, in this read operation, whatever the position of the file is kept, that takes automatically one after the other in an serial order which is placed automatically. and here which keeps track input output location. So whatever you are performing the input operation, that will be placed in some location. Similarly, for the write next, append to the end of the file and advance to the newly written material. So whatever you are writing the files, that can be append to the end of the file. So read operation can be done one after the other, whereas write operation is performing appending the end of the file, and it is advanced to the newly written material. So whatever the files are written, that are taking advancedly. So let us find the file X in an serial access method. So now I want to find this X file in the A folder. So A. So folder name is A and the files are A, B, C, D, so on, somewhere it is X. Okay. So now I have to find out the X file. So in that case, first it checks from A and then goes to B, then it goes to C, then it goes to D, then it goes in a serial order and finds the X file. So find out. So finding is done. Find it. So I have found the X file. So searching the files in a serial order, that is what accessing the files in a serial. So serial accessing is done by each file. So first what I have done, first I have checked with A file, in this A file, X file I did not find, next B, then C, then so on until X. So I found the my file in the X. So X place I have find out the X file which is present in the A folder. So this is how we are going to find the file in an sequential access. So finding in an serial order is sequential access method of a file. So let us see the key points of this file. So data is accessed one record right after another record in an order. So one after the other, whatever the record is placed, we can see in an sequential order. When we use read command, it move ahead pointer by 1. So when we are doing the read operation, so here read operation is performed and it is pointing to the next data by another one. So by another one. So another file it is placing. So sequential. So when we use write command, it will allocate memory and move the pointer to the end of the file. So when we are doing write operation, it directly goes to the end of the file and performs the write operation. Such a method is reasonable for tape. So it is reasonable for some tapes. So this is how we are going to access the files in a sequential order. So in this sequential, the files are placed one after the other. When we want to find out some XYZ files, so we are going to access in the files in a serial order. So searching in serial accessing. So A after B, B after C, then C after. So I want to find out the X file. In that case, we are going to find out the X in a serial order. This is how the files are arranging in a serial order, and we are finding out the files in a sequential method. That is what sequential access method for a file. This is sequential method. So next is direct access method. So in sequential, we are seeing the files in a sequential. Now we are going to see in the direct access method. This method is used to find the file directly. So how we are going to find directly? Let us see with the direct access method. So another method is direct access method, also known as relative access method. So this is also known as relative access method. A fixed length logical record that allows the program to read and write record rapidly. So here we are using another method is direct access method. It is also known as relative access method. So whenever you are giving the fixed length to some files that allow to read and write the operations rapidly in no particular order. So what I have said, in sequential order we are seeing in an order which is placed in a serial. So here there is no requirement of any order. We can place the files as randomly as our wish. So whatever the files can be placed, that should be no particular sequential order required. So how the access is done by direct? The direct access is based on the disk model of a file, since disk allows random access to any file block. So whatever the direct access is done, that can be used for disk model. So we are using some files in a disk model, and that files are using, since the disk allows random access to any file block. So it is randomly accessed to allocate or deallocate the files randomly, and we do not require any order to place the files in an order, and that can be placed randomly. For direct access, the file is viewed as a numbered sequence of block or record. So the files are used as a number or a block of record. So suppose we are finding some files. So in a B folder, I am placing some files with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So some files are placed, that may be in random or a zigzag order also. So whatever the files which I want to find out, that file can be easily found or directly found by using direct access method. So thus we may read block 14, then 59. So 14, they want to read the block 14 and then 59. So suppose here 14 and somewhere it is 59. So they can read or write directly, and then we can write block 17. So somewhere as 17. So 17th block. There is no restriction on the order of reading and writing for a direct access method. So in sequential, we need some order to place or read or write the operations, so that in that sequential order we are performing some order and we are doing in a serial order. No random is required there, no particular is required, but here there is no any restriction for reading, writing, and we can access the files directly. How means there are no restrictions, they can have direct access method. That's why this is known as direct access method. So suppose I want to find the file 24. So directly it goes to 24 and found the file. So there is no order of checking in and serial order whether the file is in 14 to 39. So it goes directly 24 and we can read or write the operation in 24 file. So this is how we are going to find the file directly by using this direct access method. A block number provided by the user to the operating system. So here some block numbers are provided for the user in the operating system. It's normally a relative block number. It is normally known as relative block number. The first relative block of the file is 0 and then 1, so on. So for this, block numbers are assigned with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. So here the numbers are in serial. So one after the other, that is why we are calling it as relative block number. So next, let us see what are the advantages of this direct access method. So how the files are accessed directly, what are the advantages in this direct access method. So the files can be immediately accessed, decreasing the average access time. So they can be easily accessed. They can decrease the time access also. Why? Because in sequential order, we need one after the other, checking the time complexity takes more. So why? Because checking each and every file. Here we are directly accessing the direct file which we needed to read or write operation. So decreasing the average of time here in this direct access method. So in the direct access method, in order to access a block, there is no need of traversing. All the blocks are present before it. So there is no order to access the block and there is no need of traversing. All the blocks are present before the files which are placed. These are the advantages of the direct access method in the file system. So next is indexed sequential method. So nothing but index sequential method. How we are going to see the files in an index format. In previous we have seen about sequential direct, sequential ordering in sequential, it's serial order. Direct we are using the file access directly to read or write operations can be performed directly. So let us see with this index sequential method how the files are accessed. It is the other method of accessing a file that is built on the top of the sequential access method. So it is one of the method to access the file that are built on the top of the sequential access method. These methods construct an index for the file. So it consists some index numbers for some files. The index, like an index in the back of a book, contains the pointer to the various blocks. So it consists some blocks or book like contains pointer variables, or that can be any number of various blocks. To find the record in file, we search the index and then by the help of pointer we access the file directly. So how we are going to access the file directly? By using index. So let us see one example. So suppose I want to find the file 305. This is the index number of a file. So where I need to search this file, let us see. So first this is primary memory. This is secondary memory. And this is main memory. So now I want to find search the files from 305. So 0 to 1000, 1000 to 2000, then 2000 to 3000, then so on. So next it may be from 2000 to 3000, then 4000 to 5000, then so on. So these are some files we are placing in an index format. So next here, starting from 2010 to some 2050, next 2050 to some 3000, next here I am taking 3010 to 3045, then so on. So these are the files which are placed with the index numbers. So first it search from 3045. In the primary memory, it starts from here. So 2000 to 3000. So the number is not found. The index is not matching. Next it goes to 2000 to 3000. So here also the exact number is not matching. So then the main memory, the 3045, it is found in the same file with the same index number. So we are accessing the index number from 2000 to 3000, next 2000 to 3000, again in the 3000 to 10 to 3045. So finding the files from primary to secondary, then we are finding in main memory. So finding with the files with an exactly index number should be matched. So pointing to the next address to the each of block with the index number. So this is how we are going to access the files using index sequential method. So finding in first primary, then secondary, then main memory. So with the index numbers which should be exactly matched with the given to find the file. So to find this file with the index number, we are using index sequential access method. So what are the key points for this? It is built on top of sequential access. It controls the pointer by using index. So it is in an sequential at the top and it is controlled by pointer by using the index number. So one after the other. So first it is checking with the sequential in primary, then it goes to secondary, then in main memory we have found the file with the index number. So exact matching should be done with the index number to find out that file. So this is how we are going to access the files in the index sequential method. So in this session we have seen about file access methods. So file access methods, what are they? Sequential, direct, and then index. So these are the three methods we have seen about file access methods. How we are going to perform the file accessing methods by sequential, direct and index. If you have any doubts, you can comment in comment box. Thank you.